What's up, y'all? It's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about private servers. Now, a lot of you guys have asked me to talk about this, and I haven't really wanted to, honestly, but because of recent events, I think that it's about time that we have a discussion about this, and I have some ideas I want to share with you guys, and so we can have a back and forth and talk about those. But before we really get into the video, I do want to say one thing. It is 6:33 a.m., and you guys know I do not wake up early, and so I got home like 2 or 3 hours ago. I am pretty tired, but guys, you never stop going big dick, so we're going to get this video done, and then I'm going to go to bed. So the first thing y'all got to know is that what are private servers, right? A lot of y'all probably don't know. Private servers are basically servers that are run by people who are not Blizzard. Pretty simple. And those private servers, like some of them are like vanilla private servers, and one of the main reasons that I'm making this video is one big vanilla private server was released recently. It was called Nostalrius or Nostalrius. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but it's something similar to that. And it's a server, it's called Blizz-like, and that's a term that people use for private servers that kind of means that the server emulates the same game that it was in 2006, and it doesn't have like a boosted experience, because like in some private servers, like you can play as the Lich King and just a bunch of other bullshit, but a lot of the very popular ones, and the Nostalrius, I'm probably going to mess that up a dozen times in this video, but anyway, that server has gotten very popular, and the reason for that, I think, is, well, there's a number of reasons, and we'll talk about that too, but I think one of the big reasons is that it emulates the Blizzard 2006 about server for vanilla WoW as closely as possible. And so I think that for a lot of people, that's a big draw for them to come back and like relive the nostalgia and everything else like that. And so this has gotten to be a really, really big deal. A lot of people have talked about this. And, I've gotten a lot of messages. I've even seen other YouTubers making videos on that server. And I thought it was very interesting. I guess, like, a lot of you guys probably ask me, like, whenever I talk about, like, whenever the game's getting boring, a lot of you guys, like, send me links to this private server. I'm not going to play the private server. And the reason for that is I don't really believe that you can relive the past. And I also don't really believe that the game, like, I have my screenshots and everything like that. But I do think that there is an element or a way that I would play vanilla WoW again. And I'll talk to you guys about that towards the end of the video. But I do want to kind of say I'm not really a big fan of private servers in terms of playing them. I think that people should be able to make them. I mean, I don't actually think that people should be able to make them, and I'll talk to you guys about why that is too. But I don't really I'm not like morally opposed to them or anything like that. It's just I just don't really care. I think it's a waste of time, personally. But, I mean, what the fuck am I talking about? I'm playing WoW all the time. Like, oh, playing WoW a different kind of way is a waste of time. Right, so I understand if people are going to tell me that, but that's just my opinion, okay? And so anyway, the main reason I'm making this video is that on Twitch TV, this is kind of how I learned about it, and I've actually not subscribed, but I followed a number of different streamers who were actually streaming the Nostalrius, whatever, the vanilla WoW server, okay, let's just call it that. The vanilla WoW server, I followed a lot of those streamers just to kind of watch them play through it and just to remember some of the old things, but I didn't really want to actually have to play the game. So I could just go, like tune in for 10 minutes. Wow, GBRS was really, really hard. Okay, tab out of that. I'm done with that. Go back to, like collecting garrison resources or whatever else. And so a lot of people were streaming this game, and what happened is that Twitch TV, I guess like through Blizzard, or Blizzard through Twitch TV, has taken down a lot of these streams with like DMCA complaints, copyright infringement, and everything else like that. Now, one thing I do want to say is that owning and operating a private server is illegal, and the reason for that is that obviously if you have a private server, that kind of competes with Blizzard's normal servers, and so it also is going to create a like one thing that streaming does is it's a very good I'm trying to think of the word for this. I don't know why. It's very late. It's a very good way of advertising games for different companies, and so there's I guess like a mutual gain here. So the company gets advertising, and the streamer gets like donations or money or whatever else, and so both parties win. But in this situation, really Blizzard loses, because like let's say there's somebody and they're like watching a stream and they see this game and then they buy the game and it's not the same as on the stream. It can confuse people, and obviously it can lead to a lot of misconceptions. So people, they buy this game, and then they open it up, and there's like free level 90 boosts, and then you're getting garrison resources and followers doing your missions, and you just get levels really easy, and they think, hey, this was a game for neckbeards, what the fuck happened, right? And so a lot of people are going to think that, and I understand that, and that's why I'm not really surprised that Blizzard wants to take a lot of these servers down, or the streams down, on top of the servers. Obviously, Blizzard is going to do what they can to take the servers down, but the majority of the servers are like off, like they're not in the United States, or they're not really in a place where Blizzard can forcefully take them down via law enforcement. And so obviously Blizzard doesn't really have like the authority to do something to a server in China or something like that. So obviously a lot of people are still playing on them, and that's why they still exist. But in terms of a streaming perspective and an advertisement for the game, it actually can make Blizzard look bad or something else like that whenever people are playing, like they see a stream of World of Warcraft and they see these incredibly outdated graphics and everything else like that. And so in some ways the stream can kind of, I guess, like negatively impact them. And that is kind of, it's different also, because I want to make another analogy here, is that I know that on RuneScape, I played the game once whenever I was in 4th grade, because like my friend showed me the URL and I couldn't remember how to spell it, so I never played it again after I accidentally deleted the URL. And I didn't know how to, go into the history tab, because 2 years later my mom found out I was looking at porn, and if I had known about the history tab, that would have never happened. Okay, but that's a little story. Anyway, point is, I've never really played RuneScape. But I know that RuneScape came out with I think it's called a 2007 version of RuneScape, where they kind of put out I guess like the best type, or the best like version of RuneScape that they had, and it became very popular. And I think it's even more popular than the normal game now. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't, as I said before, I don't really play the game. So the point here is that obviously this can be successful, and private servers and things that are similar to that can be successful. But I think that with an MMO and a subscription-based MMO, there would not always be successful, because Blizzard is not actively creating content for Vanilla WoW and for Burning Crusade and for Wrath of the Lich King, because there are private servers for all of the different expansions that people have. I think there's even private servers for Mists of Pandaria. And so a lot of that stuff exists, and also there's like tons of like just shenanigans private servers too. Like as I said before, where you can play as the Lich King and everything else like that. So a lot of people, well, before I talk about what I think they should do with private servers, I do want to say that the fact that people go back and play the game, that it's almost 10 years old, probably should say a lot to the state of, I guess, like replay value and content of Warlords of Draenor right now. And I've talked about that a ton of times, and that's why I really don't want to harp on it and get right down into it too much. But I do think that it should be noted that the Blizzard, the people at Blizzard should probably look and see, like, why are they wanting to play this game that's so much older, and they're actually really getting into it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to play this for a half an hour and like relive my childhood. Like one of my buddies was playing, I think it was like Super Mario, and like he died to a Goomba, and like the third or fourth Goomba, he's like, yeah, this game sucks, we're not playing this anymore. And so we went back to playing like another game anyway. And so it wasn't really like that. Like people were continuously playing this, getting up to level 60, and actually really experiencing vanilla WoW again. And I think that that's a really cool thing, but of course Blizzard doesn't, because for one, they're not getting anything out of it, and two, it could potentially make them look bad, to potential players, and they see this game, oh, this game looks boring compared to how the game is now. And I understand people could look at it vice versa, but again, if they do look at it and vice versa, then they would be kind of misled in their purchase of the game. And so I do understand why they are doing the Twitch thing, and they're getting rid of the streams and also YouTube videos too, I heard. And so again, I'm kind of glad that I didn't make any videos about it. But here's what I think that they should do. And I hope that you guys agree with me on this, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people don't, but I think this is actually a good idea. Is it if they made like leagues, or not really leagues, but seasons, like they have in Diablo 3. If you guys don't know what seasons are, is basically a certain period of months, like 4 or 6 months or whatever. You get basically a new character. Everybody gets new characters. It's like a complete game wipe, and you level up from level 1, and it's like who can get the farthest in that period of time. And what I really wish that Blizzard would do is like create a season of like vanilla WoW or something like that, where it's like 6 months or like 8 months or 10 months or something like that, where people can log into a vanilla WoW server and like play through it and like level up through it. And there were like achievements that you could get in the vanilla WoW server that would transfer over to the actual, Warlords of Draenor game. And I think that would be pretty cool, especially like with progression and like guilds racing and, having people level up and everything else like that. I know that Blizzard said that they have kind of like, that they don't have the coding files or something like that for the old server. But I don't really know how true that is or how hard that would be to reproduce, because obviously this Nostalrius, the vanilla WoW server, the vanilla WoW server has, it seems to be very similar gameplay that I remember playing back in 2006. And so I don't really know how hard it would be for them to redo a vanilla WoW server. But I personally would really play, and I know I'd like to hear from you guys. Like, if they did something like that, would you guys? I know a lot of you guys have messaged me and told me, "Hey, I've unsubscribed from the game because it's boring or whatever else." Would you resubscribe to WoW to play a seasoned or like a 10-month version of like a vanilla WoW where you level up to 60 and like the best guild gets some sort of recognition, who's able to kill Kel'Thuzad first, or Ragnaros first or something like that, and the first guild gets some kind of recognition, like, or just are able to level up. I'm sorry, I'm kind of thinking this out like as I'm saying it. And I think that personally, if I was not playing, I would probably resubscribe just to play that. And then, of course, at the end of the time period, the character's gone, and maybe they do one for Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King or something like that. And it would also give them a way to advertise the game in periods where they're not just releasing a new expansion or something like that. Seems to me like that would be kind of pretty cool. But I don't really know, how logistically possible that would be and everything else like that. And of course, there would be a lot of, a lot of fine print in there and details that I'm probably not talking about. But I do think that would be really cool, basically, is if Blizzard made a seasoned version, a period of time where like you can log onto this vanilla WoW server and level up. And if you're able to get to level 60, you get a feat of strength. And if you're able to, clear Skull months, you get a feat of strength, or, get to 30 even. Like, I mean, because you guys, maybe y'all didn't play in vanilla WoW, but like getting to like level 20 you can get to level 100 in the time it took you to get to like level 20 or 30 in vanilla WoW is ridiculous. And so honestly, like getting to 30 would be a feat of strength now. I think that that would be really cool. So let me know what you guys think. And obviously, yeah, they could do one like with Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, or just slowly release the raids, in like a very short period of time. So it's actually a real race, and people have to log on and actually really work at this. But again, of course, that would compete with the Warlords of Draenor content, and so maybe that wouldn't be a good idea. And I can see both sides of that, and so I'm not really saying that, my idea or anything like that is like this perfect, amazing idea, but I think that it would be kind of cool, and it would be something that would be cool to think about. And so if you guys think it's a cool idea, let me know. But anyway, you guys have asked me a lot to talk about private servers, and so hopefully I've kind of given you guys like my stance on them. They're very cool. I do not ever plan on playing them, although if there was a seasoned version that was actually made by Blizzard, I would. But outside of that, I don't really see myself ever playing a private server. And yeah, if you guys didn't know that, I didn't know this either about the Twitch taking down a lot of the vanilla WoW streams or anything like that. Someone actually told me that. And so that's pretty crazy, but again, not very surprising. So guys, that's pretty much all I got. Hopefully if you were one of the people that asked me about private servers a lot, you kind of got what you were asking for. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.